In the world of AWS, not all users are created equal. Not even close. One has the power to build your entire infrastructure. And yeah, the power to destroy it all in a single click. Today, we're breaking down what is probably the most critical security decision you're going to make, using that all-powerful root account versus diving into the much, much safer world of IAM. Let's get into it.
So let me just start with a quick question for you. When you think about your entire AWS setup, all your services, all your resources, what's the single most powerful and because of that, the most dangerous user in there? Just give it a second's thought.
If you guessed the root user, you're spot on. It's the very first user you ever had, the one that brought your entire AWS account into existence. And believe me, this isn't just another admin account. It's in a league of its own.
So, over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack exactly why using this account for your day-to-day stuff is like walking a tightrope without a net. And then, more importantly, we'll show you the right way to manage your kingdom with a tool that was designed for exactly that purpose. Okay, so first things first, let's really get a handle on the problem here. What is it that makes this root user so incredibly powerful, and why is that power so dangerous? Just think of the root user as the ultimate owner of the account. It has complete, total, unrestricted access to everything. And here's the kicker, the really critical part. You can't use standard IAM policies to limit what it can do. The root user basically operates above the law, making it the final authority on everything. With that kind of unrestricted power, the first huge risk is, well, just plain old human error. When you're logged in as root, even a tiny mistake, a typo in a command, one wrong click in the console can have absolutely catastrophic consequences. There are no guardrails, no safety nets to stop you from accidentally deleting a critical database or screwing up a core network setting. The second risk really comes down to accountability. You see, when someone does something as the root user, it bypasses all the fine-grained controls and logging you get with IAM. This makes it incredibly hard for security teams, or anyone really, to figure out who did what and when. It's like having a single key that everyone shares, it leaves no fingerprints behind. And that brings us to the biggest, most severe risk of all. If an attacker gets their hands on your root credentials, well, it's game over. Seriously, they don't just get access to one little service, they get total control of your entire AWS account. They can steal your data, spin up a bunch of expensive resources to run up a massive bill, and literally shut down your entire operation. It is the absolute worst-case scenario. Okay, so if using the root user is so incredibly dangerous, what's the alternative? Well, this is where AWS Identity and Access Management, IAM, comes into the picture. It's the solution, and it's built around a fundamental security idea, the principle of least privilege. IMA is the tool that was purpose-built for this exact job. Instead of having one user that can do everything, IMA lets you create tons of different users, groups, and roles, and you give each one a very specific, limited set of permissions. You give them only the access they need to do their job and absolutely nothing more. And this image here really illustrates that core idea perfectly. See, IAM isn't just for people. You can and should create unique identities for your developers, sure, but also for your applications, your automated CI/CD pipelines, your servers, everything. Every person and every process gets just the right level of access, which dramatically minimizes your security risk. So, we've got the all-powerful, kind of scary root user on one side, and the precise, granular control of IAM on the other. Let's put them head-to-head and really see the differences in black and white. This table just breaks it down so clearly. The root user, complete, unrestricted power. An admin IAM user might have what looks like full access, but, and this is a big but, it can still be restricted by other policies. So, what about for daily tasks? For the root user, that's a huge no. It's way too risky. For the admin IAM user, yep, that's exactly what it's for. The analogy at the bottom just nails it. The root user is the master key to the entire building. The admin IAM user is like the manager's key. It's powerful, for sure, but it doesn't open every single door, and it can be taken away. So we have this super powerful master key. The best practice is to lock it away in a safe and basically never use it. But what about those very rare times when you actually need it? And that's a really important question, right? Does all this mean you should just create the root account, lock it in some virtual vault, and throw away the key forever? Well, not quite. There are a few very specific and very rare exceptions. These are pretty much the only times you should ever log in as root.
We're talking about really high-stakes, account-level changes. Things like changing your contact information, updating your billing or support plans, or, closing the entire account for good. For pretty much everything else you can think of, you should be using an IAM user.
All right, now that we understand the why, let's get into the how. We're going to walk through a super simple, actionable checklist to make sure your account is locked down tight. Honestly, this should be one of the very first things you do in any new AWS account you create.
Let's run through these 5 essential steps. 1. Enable multi-factor authentication on your root account. This is absolutely non-negotiable. 2. Delete any root access keys. Your application should never, ever use them. 3. Create an IAM admin user for all your daily work. 4. Lock the root password and that MFA device away somewhere safe. And 5. Use a service like AWS CloudTrail to set up an alarm that screams at you anytime the root user is accessed. Think of it like a digital tripwire for your account's front door.
Now, some people might be tempted to just use the root user to get things done quickly, especially when they're just starting out. But as this quote puts it so well, that is a short-sighted approach that prioritizes mild convenience over major risk reduction. The risk you're taking on is just not worth that tiny bit of convenience. So just remember this. Your root account is the master key to your entire digital kingdom. You wouldn't carry the master key to a skyscraper on your daily keychain, would you? No, you lock it in the vault. And that really leaves just one question for you to answer. Do you know where your master key is right now?